Good morning, good morning. Let me go ahead and set up my stream before we get started. So we're currently bearish for the day. I just need to make sure I notify my friends and everybody else. We are bearish for the day, so I would like to see price go down eventually, but let's go ahead and make sure we have our sorry if I'm a little slow. I'm trying to hurry up as fast as I can. Let's see if we go here. Okay. Okay. Alright, so we're pretty much ready, but I'll wait a few minutes, let people join in before I start talking about today and what we're expecting to happen today. On the hourly, looks like it's going down already. I would like to see on the 5-minute, we see it has already broken this level here, so if I just draw a line right there, it's already broken it, right? And on the 1-minute, it's closed above it. So now, anytime after 8:20, I would prefer it to come up here first to get the engulfing entry. But let me go ahead and just post this so everyone can get access to the room. Okay. My colors are a bit off today. I did change the colors. I couldn't get them to exactly how they used to be, so I just put them as default, green and red. Now, before I get started in why we're bearish, right? Because we're not trading for the next 8 minutes, we don't care what it does. We already confirmed that we now just want a bearish engulfing. And I also will take a strategy based on the drilling entry. So I will get that trade in, and I believe I should have that trade set up right here. So this will be my drilling entry. I'll enter it if price comes back up here. Now that's not to say you guys should do the same thing, you know, because I know some of you are on challenges while some are practicing, so I wouldn't recommend you follow me if you were just unfunded already, because you may not be confident in this type of entry. If I do get this entry, my take profit will be down here. It will be a 6R trade. And let me go ahead and change this a little bit. The coloring is a little bit off. Okay. Alright. There. That way you could see it. But so my first entry, and I don't care if I lose this because I'm doing this on a different challenge, right? And you'll hear as I enter it, but I'm gonna go ahead and set up the trades here. So this is for the drilling entry, and I'm doing it on its own challenge. So currently the price I want to get in at is right here, which is 1958.3. So I'll make sure okay, so it entered the trade right here. It would have. The stop loss is going to be 2 pips above that level, which will be at 1959. It's like 0.2, I believe, so it will be up here. And take profit on this trade would have been, so I haven't entered it yet because I'm waiting for this candle to close, right? So my take profit on this would be, where's the take profit? It's all the way down here, 1952. So it's a really big trade, very optimal, or rather very risky, because who knows what it will do, but I will go ahead and take the trade. Now I'm doing this on a challenge, so you don't have to follow me. It came down a little bit, but I will take that risk on. Let me see if I want to take it yet. I don't want to take it yet because I didn't take it. I forgot to change the risk of my Magic members, so I'm gonna go ahead and risk less. I will risk 400. This is a 100k test account, so I will risk 400 on this trade. So stop loss is at right here. Take profit is at 1952. So it was like a little bit above it, like this, and I will go ahead and enter the trade there. Now, let me go ahead and explain to you this entry. And because we don't have any actual trades until after 8:20, I could talk to you guys about this entry, okay? If I go on the hourly, most of you who know the gold trade, right? How we trade gold. Today was a risky day. Well, I wouldn't say risky, but it's very confusing in a sense of what direction price wants to go. Does it want to go up or does it want to go down? And well, the thing is, if you look on multiple feeds, so I look on the first 10, right? So you have Oanda, Forex, FX Open, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I looked on 10 of these, and 6 of them said it was bearish, while 2 of them said it was, not 2, sorry, 3 or 4 of them. I think 1 was even, and then 3 of them said it was bullish. So of course I'm going to pick bearish. And also I got in this trade not up here, right? My risk reward, I got in on this candle here, like around, around here. So my risk reward is actually like 4.52 or something, because I'm risking around 400 to make 1,500. Now, of course, I should go up here. This is where I should have entered, but because I was trying to set up my magic keys, because I had it on $1,000 risk, and that's 1%, right? Now, of course, if I risk 1% on this trade and it wins, I'm going to make 12% gain, right? But if it loses, then I'm going to be kicking myself for risking 1 full percent on this trade, because it could easily just take me out. And I know with this strategy, with this entry method, there is more than one entry. Now, another thing I forgot to do was, if I go back on the hourly, I'll show you guys how I micromanage this type of entry. I go from, so I use the fib, remember the fib, right? And once price touches this fib 50%, I'm going to put my stop at break even. Now, if price goes up here, right? If price goes up here and kicks me out of this trade, I'm going to look for another entry above here. So above this area, I'll look for another entry to go down. Because it's not, so now it's 8:19, we might get a new, our actual trade set up, in the next few minutes. Currently price is just reversing back up. Let me go ahead and fix my MT4. I need to open up a new gold chart because okay. I'm going to be setting up something really quick, guys, sorry. I need to set up a new gold chart with the actual risk reward for my normal trade. Otherwise I'm going to forget, and then I'm going to enter my regular gold entry with the bad entry, and I don't want to do that. So let me go ahead and turn off grid. See, so this is what I was talking about, why I didn't want to accidentally risk why I didn't want to risk 1% on accident, because I know that the first entry could lose because 820 could push it higher, right? So I keep that in mind when I'm trading. I'm not gonna mix up even if it's just a challenge account and it's not fully funded yet, I'm still going to try and make as little mistakes as possible. So I needed another gold chart because I wanted my risk reward on this one to be $1,000, which is 1%. Okay, so on this one it's gonna be 1%. Wait a second, I think I can't do that. Okay, I can. Just want to make sure I could. So if I was here, it won't open. Okay. I needed to make sure it wasn't opening on multiple charts. Okay, so here's my 1%, I believe. And I'll change the color of this just so I know. Okay. So what I'm currently looking for is, let me fix this. What I'm currently looking for right now is after 820, so we just need to see a big engulfing candle above the 50% line. Okay, so once price is trading below here, we're gonna wait for it to come back up before we could get an entry. Okay, so now it's broken down here, right? So on my MT4 on this trade, I'm gonna go ahead and put my trade to break even because now it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I get stopped out now because it's a risk-free trade. But this is the kind of trade that happens with the gold entry, with the drilling entry instead of the gold mining entry. Because with the mining entry, we don't have an entry yet. We need price to reverse maybe around here and then give us an entry. And once it goes down here, it's gonna be TP. This was a 4%, not a 4%, a 0.4% risk. Now, the only times I'm actually going to use this, by the way, is probably on, it's getting a reversal here, but is probably on Mondays and Tuesdays, because Mondays and Tuesdays provide the best movement for imbalances or fair value gaps, whatever you want to call them. And I've seen it win a lot. If you're risking 1% here, you could have exited around here and past your challenge, even around here, because, or not 1%, 2%. We're still waiting. I would like it to give us an actual trade though, so I don't really care about this trade anymore because it's break even already. If price comes up here, it's gonna take me out. I don't take any partials. It's either gonna take me out at break even, or it's going to hit TP. The reason why you don't take partials is because if you really think about it, right? Assuming you take partials at, let's say you take partials at 2 to 1, right? You take 50% off, right? And then, so you took partials, assuming you took half of your trade off right here, and then your full profit is 4R. You basically only make 3% instead of 4%, so why not just keep your trade on for 3%? You know, so unless you were getting some type of big trade like 10, 20R, then maybe you take partials at like 10R. But when you're trading like only getting 3, 4, 5R, I don't think, like, I guess it depends on the trader, right? Every trader trades their own way, but for me, I don't think taking partials is worth it, in a sense that I'm going to be risking more leaving 50% off, because if it comes back and takes me out, sure, I made money, but if your strategy has an edge and you know it wins a lot of the time, it shouldn't matter if you're taking partials or not. So you may think like, okay, then why don't you take partials like right here? Well, if I want to take something out, guys, I'd probably take the whole trade off right here, because I'm okay with 5% off, like 5% right here as it's reversing, or 3%, whatever it is, right? Rather than taking a piece here and then waiting to see if the rest will hit down here. I'd rather just take the whole thing off. But I'm not touching it because, like I said, I've done a lot of tests, and if this trade ends break even, I don't really mind. Unless, of course, I'm at 1%. Let me see if my trade is at 1% profit. It's currently not at 1% profit because I risked just about $400, which would mean I need it to go down just, okay, so now I'm at 1%, but I'm still not going to touch it. I will exit if it reverses off here again, because if it touches here a third time and does not break lower, then I assume it's going to have a little pullback, and where it's going to pull back, I don't know, so I'll just keep my trade. I'll keep an eye on where I'm going to close it, and we'll move on to waiting for the actual trade to happen. So every time price comes at the 50 line right here, I'm moving, for the gold drilling entry, I'm moving my stops to break even. And you could go test this. I will have an FX replay video maybe later if you guys are interested in knowing. I only take this on a Monday. I would only take this on a Monday or Tuesday. So if this reverses above here and closes above this candle, I'm going to close it. And for those who just joined, this entry is the gold drilling entry. And you'll see I have a bunch of lines here, different, probably a little bit different than I'm used to, but I'll let you guys know in a second. I'm just waiting to see if this candle closes. Any candle that closes above here is basically telling me to close the trade. Okay, so if this closes here, I'm going to close the trade. If it closes above on my MT4, it hasn't closed yet. It closed on it. So I'm moving my stop loss to above. Oh, I can't move it there for some reason. It won't let me move my stop loss. What the hell? Okay. It's because of spreads. Let me go ahead and... Spreads are 4 pips right now on gold on my forex funds. That's why I prefer true forex funds, but because they removed the time limit, okay, so it took me out. It was about 700. No, actually it was 650. So it was like almost like a 2R. I risked like around 350 and made 650, so it was over almost a 2R there. Because I also didn't enter up here, right? I entered on this candle here, which was like down right around here. And I exited up here. Let me see if this would have made sense. So it has a 4 pip spread. Yeah, so it makes sense why it was 2R here. Okay. But the original trade, you see how like actual trades versus how you take them are so different? This right here could have been about a, let me see, a stoppage of like 3R, right? And it may still continue going down here. But I'm now looking for our original trade setup that we take. We take it above 50, above the 50 line. So I'm gonna go and put this right where I exited. I exited like right around here, I think. I had my stop loss, I had it like around here, but the 4 pip spreads took me out when it was around there. So here we have our first entry. I'm not going to take this entry because it is not above the 50 line, okay? And it may very well work out, but it's just not optimal for me. This is not an optimal trade. Yeah, so yeah, this is not it. This could be a fake out to make people think it's gonna go down. Okay, while we wait, I'm gonna explain the lines, okay? So the first line is the weekly open, okay? I'm gonna be keeping this line here. Every day you're gonna see the weekly open, okay? The second line you're going to see is the midnight open, which is right here. This line, this midnight open, is my take profit for the drilling entry, okay? So that's why I have the midnight open. And some of you might be aware of the midnight open because we use this for the weekly trades, which by the way, I will be starting those again next week. I've been seeing trades more often now, so I will be looking at those. Okay. The next thing I wanted to talk about, actually, also, you will see another line that's not here today. It will be there tomorrow, which will be not the midnight open, but the market open. So because I already have the weekly open, which is at 18 o'clock on Sunday, this is where the daily open as well would be. But because it's Sunday to Monday, then we don't need it because we already have this yellow line. But tomorrow you will see another line at the 18 o'clock. And the reason for that is because I use those as take profit for the gold drilling, whichever one is lower. And also you have the fib here, which has the 100 and 0 line because we need the 50% line to kind of help us when we navigate which trades we enter. We want it to be, so for bearish, we want it to be in the discount area or premium area, right? And then for buying, we want it to be in the discount area, okay? But because we're selling here, we want it to be above this area right here. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Now, while we wait for a regular trade, I would like to talk about this trade here that I placed. Looks like it's going to go hit TP. Now, one thing I want to let you guys know, because I know some of you weren't really interested in it, right? This line here, by the way, is just the 5-minute high that we need price to break for our regular entries, okay? So right here would be another area to stop the trade, because this is like the fourth time it's hitting it, which could say it's trying to either break it or reverse, but you could take it, you could take profit right there. I want to talk about the gold drilling while we wait for price to get up in this area. I'll draw a little box just so you're not confused. We want price to come up here, and I will draw this in red maybe. Okay, so we want our entry to be in this area here, okay? For some reason, why is this locked? I can't move this for some reason. Okay, let me go ahead and... Oh, okay. It's not letting me... There we go. It wasn't letting me move the box, but... Okay, so for the gold drilling, right? What we want is anytime after 8:20, it could be after 8:20 or before 8:20, okay? You want a imbalance to show up, and you're going to take it at 50% of the imbalance, okay? Now, you want the same thing, you want it to be above 50% if you're selling, or below 50% if you're buying, okay? Another thing you want is if there's multiple imbalances in your current imbalance, so like this here, I should have not taken it up there, I should have taken it down here. This is kind of where I took the trade, because there's multiple imbalances overlapping each other, right? So I did take it at the right place. So even though this was the target, like where I wanted to originally take it, where I took it was also a very valid area. And what you do is, when price comes up, you take the trade. Your stop loss is going to be above the first imbalance. So for example, let's say, let me zoom in a little bit, and we are going to move this. You see this group of imbalances? So if I was to take it right here, okay? The 50% line is up here, so you wouldn't have taken this. There was no entry here, but there was an entry on this one here. So if I put the Fibonacci right here, so you want the first, so you already know you're bearish, okay? Anytime after 8 o'clock, you start looking at imbalances, either at after 8 o'clock or after 8:20. You look for imbalances and you draw your fib to show the 50% line, and that's where your entry is going to be. I had my entry right here, like this imbalance, 50 line right here, but I should have done it like this. But I was just trying to be safer. Once you enter the trade, your take profit is going to be your midnight open or the low of the day. Obviously, the low hanging fruit is going to be the low of the day, but you never know, price may not get there. However, once it breaks, or once it touches that 50% line between the low and high of day before 8 o'clock, you're moving your stop loss to break even. So you're making your trade free. So regardless of if it reaches down here or not, your trade is now risk free. You're not risking anything on the table anymore, okay? And that's how I enter the trade. I don't stop any other way. The only time I will stop is if we have a holiday. If we're on a holiday and let's say market, because on holidays market will close at like 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. I'm not sure. It closes earlier, maybe 2 p.m. I think. Then I will exit 1 hour before that, which is 1 p.m. Or I will exit at 3 p.m. So regardless of how much profit it has at 3 p.m., I'm exiting the trade, okay? That's the only way I will stop out if I haven't hit take profit. Today I stopped out because we didn't have our original trade, okay? Otherwise I would have kept the trade going. I've done a lot of research on this. I remember we were talking about this on Friday. I was trying to explain to you guys, but I've done enough research on this to let you know that this way of trading, it has a really I wouldn't say it's great. It's not a great win rate ratio, okay? If you trade every day, it's going to be great. If you trade every day, it's not going to be great. You have like a 50% win rate with this, okay? And that's taking multiple trades a day. So I count each trade. So most trades will have more than 2R. Some trades will have more than 5R. Some trades will have more than 15R, okay? So with a win rate of 50%, it's really good. But I like high win rate. Regardless of the reward, I like high win rate because I know I'm going to mess up as a trader, okay? I'm going to mess up as a trader. You're going to mess up as a trader. Everything we see here is not what we're going to get. And I'll give you an example today. My entry is up here. I don't get my entry here. I get it down here, okay? I get the entry down here. I didn't get this TP here. My TP, or my take profit, is up here. So because you see that it hits TP and TP was 4R or 6R if you got in at the entry up here, that does not make it you're gonna get that every single time, right? Some days it's gonna be different. And this is an example, a live example of me, instead of getting 6R right here, I got just 2R, okay? It wasn't because I wasn't confident or anything, because I was gonna let it ride down here. But because I thought we were gonna get another trade here, I wanted to exit if price broke this level here because it was about to go back into the 50% region. I didn't get in on this trade here, guys. The reason I didn't get in is because even though it was above the 50%, it closed below it. So I'm just waiting. The only time I will stop looking for a trade is if we are breaking the lows and we don't reverse up to the 50%, because I do believe we're going to reverse up here and then get a trade. So we still have a lot of time, right? Let me see if this trade here would be break even if you got in on this trade. So 2 pip stop loss up here, and it's okay if you take the trade, guys. The live stream is mostly for what I would rather do, right? If you've done research, it hasn't hit 2R yet, but at least your trade here would have been break even by now. And you could take it however you want. I'm just showing you guys how I think of the entries, right? Even though I was the one who, you will never see this anywhere else. Nobody, like, yes, people do trade off imbalances and engulfing candles, right? But nobody's trading quite like me, right? You don't see this on YouTube. So just because I formulated it this way of how I'm trading does not necessarily mean this is how you have to trade. The setup itself is a good setup how it is, right? I've added extra confluences to help me grow as a trader and be more, 1, patient, and 2, not make as many mistakes as I used to make. I'm trying to better my mindset in a sense of being able to accept that I'm not going to trade every day. But if you want to trade every day, you know the original rules of the gold mining. It's in the private videos. So you know how to do it. And you could do that if you want to trade almost every day. It has a high win rate, guys. But you have to be willing to stand those extra losses. I would rather risk more on 4 trades a week or 3 trades a week than risk less and take a trade every day. I saw someone on YouTube who takes a trade like maybe twice a week or once a week, and he's making 6 figures a month because he's risking, instead of risking, let's say 1% every day or 1% every trade or 0.5% every trade, he risks 2% per trade, right? But he only trades like 2-3 times a week, and he wins a lot of those, like 80% of those. So you can imagine 2% a week, and he's making, his trades are not just like 2-hour trades. He makes 5-hour, 6-hour. So him risking 2% to make 6-hour, that's 12% in one trade. I would rather make 12% in one trade than make 1%, 2% every trade. Because the more trade you do, guys, and I told you this in the when I was advertising, or not advertising, but speaking about the weekly trades, the more trades you take, the more losses you're going to take, regardless of how much the win rate is. Even if it's an 80% win rate, 70% win rate, the more trades you're taking, the more losses you're going to take. Yes, it's the more wins you're going to take as well, but the more, just adding up losses, regardless of how many extra wins you're getting, when you add up those losses, it's going to start affecting you mentally, okay? Wouldn't you rather win 5 trades and lose once than win 50 trades and lose 10 trades? Because you don't know when those 10 trades are going to be. You could end up losing 5 in a row. You could win 40 times and then lose 10 in a row, and you're going to feel like you're a bad trader, even though you're not a bad trader. So keep that in mind, that the win rate is nice. Trading a lot is nice. We want to trade a lot, but the reality is most of us also have other things we want to do in life. We don't want to sit on our screens for hours taking trades. So, like I told you, I'm going to release a video on the gold drilling, on the entries on Mondays and Tuesdays. I'm going to go far back, maybe as far as January, and I'm going to look only Mondays and Tuesdays, and we're going to see the results it would have brought. Because while we wait, right, because we're not taking any trades here. Yes, this trade here would have hit TP now, 2R. I'm not sure if anybody took it. I skipped, honestly. I think I told you guys I wasn't going to take it anyway. But if you took it, then good job. We didn't know how it was going to play out. I kind of wanted an entry above here. Okay. So I'm still going to wait. I'm going to be on stream maybe for another 20 minutes, 30 minutes. While we wait, I want to review a few Mondays and Tuesdays, right? I don't think we have anything going on here, so if you guys would like me to review some Mondays and Tuesdays with the gold drilling entry, let me know now. If not, we could sit and wait for an entry to go above 50%. I don't mind. Either way is fine for me. And please understand, I'm not replacing gold mining with gold drilling. I'm taking both entries because both of them are taken differently. So it's highly unlikely that you're going to have 2 trades going the same time without one being break even. So for example here, if you were to enter this trade right here for gold mining, right? Right here, you would have already moved your stops to break even here. So even if it did come up and you lost gold mining, you would have broke even right here, so you would have had no risk on the table for this trade here. Let me back up a little bit and let's go look at last week, okay? We're gonna take a look at last week. I do have some markings down. I do believe we won't have to look too much, okay? So here's an example right here. Last week Monday, right? Now, obviously, for you guys who are premium members know that this is a bullish sign, right? This is bullish. Okay? We were bullish on last week Monday. So after 8 a.m., we're just looking for bullish imbalance, okay? You don't notice any bullish imbalances until this one right here, okay? You put it at 50% line. You put your stop loss at 2 pips. 2 pips below where it currently is at right now. So it was 24, so 44. Maybe you put it a little bit, just a tiny little bit lower. And you take the trade. On my Forex funds, guys, keep in mind if you're doing this on my Forex funds, use a 4 pip stop loss, not a 2 pip, because so a 4 pip would be 64. Because on my Forex funds, it does range from 2 pips to, let me see what the spreads right now is. Right now it's 2 pips, but sometimes it does go up to 4 pips. Like earlier it was 4 pips. So please keep that in mind when you take a trade. So even if it was 4 pips, so I'll put it back to 2 pips, because if you were trading on my on True Forex funds, it would be about 2 pips. So you get the entry. You entered it right here when it came down, right? Maybe you waited for the candle to close and you got in. And it went up. Your take profit would be this right here, which is the midnight open. And as you could see, it didn't quite get up to the daily high. So that's why I like the midnight open. The midnight open or the daily open, which was over here, which it would have hit over here, but midnight open was hit, right? If you moved your stop loss to 50%, which was up here, not stop loss, but to break even, you would have not even been taken out. You would have kept this trade going. And I do believe we did take this trade last week Monday. We took it around here though, and it was a 2-hour trade we took. Because the original gold entry would have been on this engulfing right here. We took a loss here. I remember this specifically because it had a trade here I didn't take, and then this trade I lost, and then I took another entry on this candle and it was profitable. But with the gold drilling entry, you would have entered down here. It would have been a 21-hour trade, right? But this is where I was saying earlier that even if it's a 50%, even if it's a 50% accuracy, right? Most trades will be more than 2R. So you don't get this trade every day. If you're taking this every day, your win ratio will be around 50%. But if you take this on Mondays and Tuesdays, it does go up to 60, 70, 80%. If I go to Tuesday, you will notice after 8, we had this losing trade right here. So if I just quickly put an entry right here, and let's say you put it to 2 pips, which should have been 7, you would have lost this, right? Because 7 is over here. And if you put it to 4, which would have been 9, you still lost it. So it didn't matter if you used 2 or 4 pips, right? So let's say you used 2. You lost this trade. It was a good risk reward. There's the midnight open. It had a good risk reward, right? So it was definitely worth taking. It just did not work out, okay? And then you had this. Let me go ahead and remove this, but let's take a look. So you got stopped out, right? Where do you see an imbalance next? Right here, right? Now this is only one imbalance from here to here. Well, it's 2 imbalances, right? So you use the 50% rule of marking both consecutive imbalances because it has another imbalance, right? And yes, it had other imbalances, but you're not wanting to take imbalances that are below 50% of the move down here from this swing to this swing, or even this swing to this swing, okay? You're not going to take these ones here. So you mark this one here, and your stop loss is going to be 2 pips above right there, so it would be 94 right there. Take profit, you're using midnight open, and look what happened. You got stopped out right here for break even because the 50% line, I believe, was, if I mark it like this, 50% line was right here. So you got your entry, it came down here, it came back up, it came further down, but then you got stopped out because your entry is at break even at this point, and then it came up. Eventually, well, let me go ahead and keep that there, and let me remove these. Eventually it did go down, but it never quite went down to stop loss, right? I will check other days, guys. Give me 1 second. Let me just see what it's doing right now. Price is still going down right now, so we don't have anything going on yet. I will keep it running for another maybe 10-15 minutes. See if we start getting some type of move back up. Okay, so last week Tuesday, and let's assume you're risking 1% each trade, right? Last week Tuesday you lost 1%. You also, I would like to use 0.5, not 1%. 0.5 was 0.4%, right? So you got 1 break even and a negative 1%. But look what happened here. You have this right here, which is a nice win, right? For 21%. So last week Monday you made 21%, right? Or you could even say maybe you made 20%, but then you lost 1%. And that was that last week. You could be done trading for the whole week. Let me see if I can back up a little bit till the previous Monday and Tuesday. Okay, so we have the previous Monday. Okay, July 3rd. Now, I don't have to go too much into detail, but you know that the previous Monday was also a bullish, right? And look what happened. So after 8 a.m., we're looking for a bullish imbalance. And you see that right here. You enter 50%, right? Stop loss 2 pips below or 4 pips. It doesn't really matter. Let me see if you used 4 pips, how much you would have made. So if we use an extra 2 pips, so it's 3, we'll say it's 4. So if you used an extra 2 pips, if you're on my Forex funds, you still made 7R, okay? But if you're on like True Forex funds or something and you're basically at 9R, you got entered in right there, and this came at 811, and you made 9% that day if you're risking 1%. But like I said, I would prefer not to risk 1% unless you're only going to be taking this entry on Mondays and Tuesdays and not trading the rest of the week. Okay, so this day on, what day is this? So this was midnight open. This was Tuesday. Yeah, this is Tuesday. And this day we were bearish, okay? On this day we're bearish, so let me go ahead and zoom in and see. Look at the time here. 8:16. You get a trade, right? 50% of the line right here. Your entry is over here. Your stop loss is, so there's another entry here, but this is the entry after 8:20. So if I was to just mark this up correctly and do it here, and we use 2 pips above this high, the candle with the imbalance. Let me go ahead and see if I can see. Okay, so it's 2.4, so we want 4.4. Let me go ahead and remove this. I just want to remove this so I don't have too much stuff going. Okay, so we use 4.4 pips stop loss. It would be right here. Okay, or if you were going to use 4 pips stop loss, you would be at 6.5, which would be right here. Okay, so you still made 8R, but we will use our 2 pip stop loss, which would be 4.5. Okay, so price tagged you in immediately on this candle here. So if I was just to go here, right, price tags you in, and if I put a fib from the lowest point to the highest point before 8 o'clock, we basically move our stop loss to break even once price touches this 50% line right here. And you will notice as well, look what happened last week Tuesday. Well, it wasn't last week Tuesday, it was the 4th of July, right? And markets closed at 2:30 for gold. Okay, 2:30. So 1 hour, if you're closing at 3 o'clock, you're gonna stop by 1 p.m., right? 1 p.m. was right here. So your last trade was right here where you would have stopped out, which would have been 12R. So if you're risking 1% in the beginning of July, I could already tell you these 2 days, the first and second, you would have made 9% and 12%, 21%. And let's go back to the recent Monday. So you're up 21%, right? Then this Monday you made 21% just that Monday. And you can notice I'm not cherry picking anything. I'm doing Monday and Tuesday, and we're only looking for our bias, midnight open, and an imbalance. I don't think anybody's going to teach you this kind of thing, but that's over 40R. And if you're on a live account, obviously you're risking 0.5%. So that's like 40R is going to be 20%. And then this day you lost 1%. And yeah, so anyway, and then we have this Monday. Where's this Monday? This Monday is right here. So on this Monday here, we made, it was a 6R trade. So in July alone, you've made, even with losses, you've made over 40 something R, just only trading Mondays and Tuesdays with this strategy. So you could trade the drilling on Mondays and Tuesdays, and then the rest of the week you could do the gold mining. Okay, that's up to you, but I found it very, very, very ideal to trade Mondays and Tuesdays this way. And sure, even if you only traded 1-2 days of the month, you would have made enough to withdraw. If you're on 100K, think about what 20% could do for you. Alright, just keep that in mind. I'm going to see if we get any trade setups in the next 7 minutes. If not, I will end the stream off for the day and we can come back tomorrow. I think our optimal entry was over here. This was not 820, so yeah, this was the first engulfing after 820. And unluckily it was a little bit too much on the 50% line, so I did not take this entry. guys, we have about 5 minutes. If I don't see it start writing up, then we'll continue tomorrow. Hopefully I can teach you guys some more things tomorrow, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, looks like it wants to keep going down, guys. If you have any questions, let me know now. Otherwise, I think we'll end it off here. I don't want to waste too much of your time. We've been here about an hour now, almost an hour. We'll be back tomorrow. It's just one of those days where we had an entry, but it wasn't really optimal. It wasn't in the area that we would have liked it to be, so we just have to deal with that. But that shouldn't bring you down, because no trade is better than getting in a trade and losing, right? There's a high chance this could have also just flipped over and taken us out, then continued down. So if you miss a trade, it's fine. What you need to do is just show up and complete the process. Keep doing the same thing every single time, and you'll see you'll be profitable long term. I hope you guys have a nice day, and I will catch you guys tomorrow morning, same time, like an hour ago around this time. So yeah, I'll talk to you then. Have a good day, guys.